Good afternoon. Clare Turner Marshall from clareturnermarshall.com, Wealth and Success Creator. Welcome to today's Motivational Monday, which is all about money management tips. The key thing that people seem to suffer with where money's concerned is the management of it. So let's set in your head why this is important. If you've got children, or if you know people that have got children, especially small children, you will know that if they don't get paid daily attention, if they're not set boundaries, and if they're not respected, then the chances are they're probably going to be that kid in the supermarket that nobody wants to claim ownership of. You know, the one that's screaming on the floor, having a complete fit because it can't get its own way. Nobody wants that child. And money is very much like that child. Because when we don't pay it attention, when we don't look after it, when we don't give it respect, then guess what? Very, very quickly, it gets completely out of control. So, why is it important for you to manage it? Well, number one, so that you can actually do the things that you really want to be doing in your life. I'm a big advocate about living and not existing. We can all exist and we can all just go day to day, but actually living life and doing the things that we really enjoy, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So if you're not managing your money effectively right at this moment, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to start paying it attention daily, okay? And what will happen is you'll start to understand your spending cycle, and you'll start to understand whether you have emotional purchases, whether you just do standard purchases that you don't even think of because they're just a given and they have to happen, or whether you are just not even thinking about it when you do it. Because for most people, they just don't really get the emotion that they've got going on around money, and that's the second key, is take the emotion out of it. Don't be emotional about money. It's not emotional, it's purely energy. It's about just knowing what you want and going out there and going to get it. That's the key. You've got to set your mind for success and on target. Because we all know that if we don't have that tracking device taking us where we're going, then we can end up on a diversion and end up in a place that completely wasn't what we intended in the first place. So make sure, number one, you're paying it daily attention. Number two, you are on target and you are following the rules that you set for yourself, because that's important that you set yourself some rules around what your spending is. The final thing then that you need to do, which I always encourage people to do because it's something that very few people do, is annualize your bills and expenditure. Most people that I know, when you talk about how much they earn, will quote you an annual salary. I earn 150 grand a year, I earn 120 grand a year, I earn £1 million a year, I earn 50 grand a year, whatever the figure is, they'll quote you an annual figure. But when we start talking about our expenditure and our bills and the things that we have to pay regularly, most people will say, my bills per month are 5.5 grand, or are 3 grand, or are whatever they are. They will give you a monthly figure. Then, when they're looking at kind of, well, this is what's come in and that's what's gone out, and I don't really know where it's all gone, they're looking at annual salary here and monthly salary here. And guess what? When you magically multiply that monthly by 12, all of a sudden, for a lot of people, whoa, that's where all my money goes. What you're not doing is you're not being consistent in the way that you're calculating things. Start with a system and stick with it. So when you're looking at the money that you spend and where it's all going, if you are actually looking at it on a monthly basis as well as an annual basis, it will become very apparent very quickly where you are spending and what you're spending. Final little tip for you, which is probably one that you've heard before, but it works so well, that's probably why you've heard it before. But get yourself a little book, a little pocket-sized book about this big. And in it, every single day, write down every single thing that you spend. So if you spend 20p on putting some air in your tyres, I want you to write it in the book. If you pop 50p into a charity pot, I want you to write it in your book, because those little things all add up and they all count. So bring all these things together, and that starts to create a really great foundation for you on how to manage your money effectively. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I want you to now go and take some action here. I want you to start right now. So whenever you watch this video, the next thing that you spend, I want you to find that little book, or even just make one out of paper if you haven't got one right now, and start writing these things down. I want you to look at your emotions around money and how emotional you are being about it, and kind of put out there, if I take that emotion out of it, what will happen then? And then I want you to annualise your bills, because by annualising your bills and your expenditure, believe me, you're going to see where your money's going. If you'd like to get some free information on how to manage your money more effectively, click on the link in the box below that's going to take you to my website, and on there, not only are we going to send a free PDF to you around how you can manage your money more effectively, but we'll also send you some audios on the 3 keys to managing your money mindset, I had to think about it then, and your money education, because those 3 key elements are what I believe holds people back from being masters of money. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Pop some comments below. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe so we can send these videos out to you every single week. Whatever you're doing for the rest of today, make sure that it's awesome. See you soon.